Good evening. Tonight, on this third day of December, the show is Tipping Point, and you're just in for it. I am Lincoln Mbogo, and our sign language interpreters are Teresia Washira and Michael Maithe. Just a day after Deputy President William Ruto came up with goodies, with a convoy of goodies, hoping that they'll be accommodated on the BBI train that seems to just have left the station. The train that claims it has left nothing behind and has already made its first stop at the signature collection station by assembling more than the required 1 million signatures, is gearing up in a bid to reach its destination. And the question we have for you tonight is, will we have a referendum on or before the 2022 general elections? Send in your feedback to our SMS line 111 and at Lincoln Mbogo and at Switch TV Kenya. We are live on Facebook, YouTube and Twitter. But to start the conversation tonight, joining me in studio is Kisii Deputy Governor Honorable Josh Mwangi, Mwingi West Member of Parliament Honorable Charles Nguna, and Nudin Kagai, a governance expert and a lawyer. So before we even go to Deputy President William Ruto and the BBI, Governor Mike Sonko, elected Governor Mike Sonko, was today impeached. Maybe we can start the conversation with Deputy Governor. Just tell us, is this the same axe that befell Governor Waitito?
First and foremost, Lincoln, thank you for the evening. And,
it's good to have you.
It's a bit interesting what happened to Sonko, because Sonko was impeached, even though he claims to be with 57 members of the County Assembly of Nairobi and Mombasa. If it is true that he had 57, then they will be lacking a quorum to impeach him.
They say that more than 20 voted virtually. They signed virtually. Is that possible?
If the standing orders allow that, that is possible. My anxiety will be that they resign. But members of the County Assembly are allowed, it is their legal duty to impeach a governor if they are not satisfied with them. But the question one will want to answer is it really the members of the County Assembly impeaching Sonko, or are they being forced to do it?
Forced to do it?
Yeah.
By who?
Maybe one will want to ask you, are you the newcomer in Jerusalem? Really?
So are you trying to say that this is the same axe that befell Governor Waitito?
I am very reluctant to say that. You see, I am a deputy governor. I could also be subjected to impeachment. What we want is to ensure that when there's impeachment, there's enough grounds and that the members actually come and vote. We don't want to be in a hurry to pandle people out of office just because we are not happy with them. So I am still reluctant to commit myself on the process. I want to wait and see if actual people can impeach them. If members of the council will impeach, whether through FACHO or directly in the House, then let's see what happens in the Senate.
I believe Governor Sonko is your good friend.
Yes.
His impeachment. How do you look at it?
It's quite unfortunate.
Do you think it's the same axe that befell Governor Waitito?
When actually we are talking of recovering from COVID, the MCS and everybody is bringing drama of impeaching a governor who is supposed actually to be working and putting Nairobi County on course. Let me condemn it, and I'm sure 100% ODM orchestrated this thing.
But so why? Why would ODM orchestrate this?
It is what we call deep state, and deep state has really interfered with Nairobi County running government affairs, and it is quite unfortunate. We have to go back to the politics again, and I am sure Sonko is going to be saved in Senate.
Deep state, ODM coming in the same sentence.
It is not.
Honorable Charles Nguna, deep state and ODM coming in the same sentence. Yes. Are you saying that ODM are the actual deep state?
We could have focused on now we are going to help NMS running Nairobi, but now we are fully focused on impeaching Sonko. Although he was wrong in certain way of refusing to sign for the budget, but still, that is not the best crowd actually impeach him. He could have been
There should have been
persuaded.
room for
actually.
consensus.
Yes, there's consensus.
There was no room for consensus at all.
Actually,
There should have been
talking
room for
about and
consensus.
about
Mr.
all
Mangan
the time.
consensus.
Yes, consensus should have actually been encouraged.
Yes.
It is very sad.
Especially now that there's no deputy takeover. What has happened is
We'll come to that because you're deputy governor. You'll tell us the roles of a deputy governor and what has been happening in Nairobi, but we'll come to that shortly. Governance expert, Nudin Kigai.
Yeah.
Sonko's impeachment.
Yeah.
What next after that? What follows next?
Clearly, first and foremost, to answer the question you asked them, I believe Sonko's impeachment is more or less a political move. What do I mean? Parties in Kenya are owned by individuals. And sadly, those who get elected are owned by the individuals that own the party. Let me give an illustration. When last week, or is it this week, nominated members of the county assembly from Nairobi was summoned at Jubilee headquarters because of not towing the party line. So, and the question they were asking is impeaching Sonko one of the party objective? And they were told no. So they asked a simple question via Murkomen. They asked, so if at all I don't vote to impeach Sonko, there's no issue. And they were told yes. But deep down, it is more or less he messed around with the powers that be. Because if you check what Sakaja told him the other day, he was saying for Sonko to survive this week's impeachment, during this weekend, he has to seek Uhuru Kenyatta and Raila Odinga because they control the county assembly.
So that's to mean that he did not?
Yes, he didn't. Which is sad because that means the people elected into office have no brain. They are just there to send a certain agenda. They're just more or less like a rubber stamp, which we need to change in this country. So his impeachment is, it was long overdue, I'll tell you that. He knew from the get-go that he would be impeached, and that is why he has never, ever put a deputy governor. Every time they talk about deputy governor, he diverts the attention. He brings in Miguna because he knows Miguna can't come back. He comes out with another strategy or another drama because he knows the moment I put a deputy governor, I'm gone. And so him signing powers to the national government, that was the first warning. He never saw it coming. He was supposed to be impeached that day, that time. So he saved his skin by handing over powers to the national government, thinking that he's safe. But little did he know he's being played. So now they're back at him again. So we are going to have a quagmire problem. Because they say once the deputy and the governor are not there, the speaker takes over. But now that's another challenge. So Nairobi as the capital city, when you think about Kenya, the first thing you think about is Nairobi. But we've been accustomed to drama, be it fighting from the members of county assembly, be it among issues of guns in the assembly. So Nairobians are actually tired. And believe you me, they can't wait. They have learned a lesson. Voting a populist instead of a manager. They can't wait for this county assembly to go home. Come 2022.
Exactly.
Is that true?
It's very true. I think I blame Kenyans. I'm a politician. I was elected based on what I presented to my electorates. But still, when it comes to voting, majority of us Kenyans, we confuse generosity instead of considering the leadership in that person. We had so many candidates in Nairobi, actually who had qualifications, proper one, to run this important county in our country. Actually, Nairobi is the most critical county we have in this country. Then we gave it to Sonko based on Jubilee, Kumira. Everybody voted Jubilee because Uhuru and Uruto, actually, they carried the day. So, this is a lesson that is supposed to be learned by all Kenyans across the divide. Let us elect leaders wisely. Let us look at qualities which we can actually manage. But in connection to that, I'm not supporting this impeachment. First of all, it is disorganized, it is ill-timed, and also procedural. Let me put it that way. Because we are fighting COVID. We are looking, the country is struggling. Today, I was with the CS Treasury and fully convinced that let us brace ourselves to face rough time in this country.
Deputy Governor, maybe Deputy Governor Josh Mangi, you're a Deputy Governor.
Yes.
Sonko has not had a Deputy Governor for the longest time after Paul Lekapigado left.
Lincoln,
Yes.
first and foremost, I want to agree with my CNN,
Yes.
CNN, that when it comes to the appointment of the Deputy Governor in Nairobi, Sonko is to blame. And I must say that Sonko has brought this onto himself.
So you're saying that
One-
it was long overdue,
Yes.
his impeachment?
Number one, he pushed out Igate, the Deputy Governor, who they were elected together with. And they pushed him out unceremoniously, literally pushed him out. A fine young man who is now doing very well wherever he is. Secondly, Sonko refused to nominate another Deputy Governor to take the place of Igate. Presumably because he knew that if you were to appoint another Deputy Governor, constitutionally, if he goes, the Deputy Governor will take over. So he was blackmailing everybody that you cannot push me out because you push me out, then there will be nobody to take over. Now, the principal role of a Deputy Governor, first and foremost, is to assist the Governor in the day-to-day management of county affairs. But there is also the constitutional mandate of continuity, so that if anything happens to in the office of the Governor, the Deputy Governor will step in. You see, when you create a rule or a law, there's always a mischief you want to avoid. The mischief in the creation of the office of the Deputy Governor is to ensure that Kenyans don't keep on going back to election every time there's a vacance in the office of the Governor, which can come through death, impeachment, or bankruptcy, so that Kenyans don't go back forward. That is why it's in the Constitution that a governor will run together with a deputy, a president will run together with a deputy. That way, if the president, and God forbid, were to die tomorrow, the deputy president will take over. If a governor, like you have seen in Nyeri, you saw it in Bomet, the deputy steps in and continues. That's why you run together, so they can be able to continue with the policies that your predecessor had. Now, Sonko, knowing that he stood the risk of being impeached anytime because of his, shenanigans, he has refused to appoint a deputy governor, so that he will be blackmailing Nairobians and MCAs that if you impeach me, you have nowhere to go and then you must go back to elections. That is wrong. And I must say that while whatever has happened may not have been done procedurally, but he should have seen it coming. He saw it coming, that's why he refused to appoint the deputy governor. He refused to appoint the substantive deputy governor, and now he's throwing everybody into very deep waters in Nairobi, because now it means Nairobi must go to elections 3 months from now.
But we have the NMS,
Who?
Nairobi Metropolitan Services.
Was
What
it
is that?
elected?
No, what
Was
is
it
that?
elected?
I mean, they've been playing that role for the longest time. What happens?
But you see, there's also there's a court case challenging the legality of NMS.
Still, NMS is in charge of only four departments.
Yeah.
We have 14 departments in the government, although we have 10 departments, but 14 functions. NMS in charge of only 4 functions. What happens to the other 6 functions?
Now, let me ask, is devolution in trial?
Yes, it is.
Yes.
Yes, it is. And you see, I will say this, like he just said, like Charles just said, the issue is with us, the voter, because we have lowered the integrity and leadership qualities so low that any Tom, Dick, and Harry, courtesy of a packet of flour or water via a water buzzer, can get elected. We need to have leaders of integrity, people with leadership qualities. And what do I mean? We need to substantiate 2 things. Instead of having a politician who is in charge of his selfish interest, look for a leader. And if anyone is looking for an example of a leader, I will give you an example, as Kenyans are watching today. I will send you to go down history lane and read about one Thomas Sankara. Now that one was a leader. That was someone who came into office via coup, as they say, very fine gentleman, the African Che Guevara. He came into office with a purpose to serve. He came to stop his country from starving. He looked into the healthcare sector. He looked into stopping borrowing from the foreign land. Because I'll tell you for a fact, the more you borrow from the foreigner, the more they control your country. And that is what he says. So in short, all I'm saying is we need leaders who are Pan-Africanists, because we don't have that right now. leaders who love the land more than they love themselves. Because let me tell you, if you love your country, believe you me, you will make sure your country follows the right path, and through that you will make the money you want to make. Money, however, money is not made. It is earned after working. So you need to make proper channels, and not the channel we are told today, because you see, they'll tell you, if you want to solve this, go via the right channel. That channel has been controlled by someone who will never allow you to go via that channel.
Thank you, noted. Is devolution in trial?
It is, because point number one, the president interfered with the county government of Nairobi, because the electorates actually did their mandate by electing Governor Sonko. Then he comes and takes off all the functions.
But why?
It's because
What was the problem? Why would President Uhuru do that?
the problem was the MCA started the game of impeaching the governor without any valid reasons. Sonko was taken to so many trials without any valid reason, and that is why we started this drama. The president saw it wise to actually take off all the critical functions from Sonko to NMS, and that is why I'm saying the devolution is in trial. Number two, if you check the qualities of governors we had the first time in 2013, they were all technocrats. Politicians confused that governor will be having money. They all rushed to Senate. Then they realized later money is in governor's pocket. They all went and ran. Right now, the current crop of governors are all crap. They have failed devolution because they are politicians. They are not technocrats. And I'm sorry to say that. I am sorry. Politicians cannot run administrative issues in this country.
Honorable man, you're a deputy governor.
I am not going to fight with my friends.
But
here.
respond, just respond.
I will respond. First
Yes.
and foremost, let me answer your question. Is devolution in trial?
Yeah.
Yes, devolution is seriously being tried.
Has it been in trial or has it just started?
It has been in trial for a long time. Right from the beginning, the cardinal principle in devolution is that funds will follow functions. Bad functions were dispersed to counties, but funds were never dispersed. That is why you see there are functions like health, which is fully devolved. We still have half of the budget in Nairobi. What is it doing in Nairobi when health is fully devolved? Agriculture is fully devolved. Half of the budget of agriculture is still in Nairobi. Which crops are being grown in Nairobi when the agriculture is fully devolved? Roads, part of roads was devolved. But still, most of the money is controlled from Nairobi. So this regime has not fully embraced the devolution. Initially, we thought it's because, the system are not fully understood devolution. But it's becoming clear that there is a deliberate attempt at, stifling devolution. Devolution is on trial. Look, the Constitution says the counties will get a minimum of 15% of the previous audited accounts. We have never gotten 15%. Never.
I
I'm a deputy
totally
governor.
agree.
We've never gotten 15%.
I totally agree with the deputy governor.
Thank you. Let me
Yeah.
finish. Yes. So why are they not giving us 15%? 15%. I mean, the devolution trial. They're doing everything. Look at the strikes, healthcare strikes. Most of them are engineered by people from Nairobi, because they regret that health was devolved. Their desire would have been that health should remain in Nairobi. So devolution is being tested, is being tried, it's even being mistreated. But now, let me come to Sonko. Sonko's case is a bit unique. Sonko's case, I'm sorry, my brother CNN, I know Sonko's your friend. He's also my friend, but sometimes we must call an orange an orange. Sonko has been, for lack of a better word, absolutely incompetent. I'm sorry to say that. Because he has not demonstrated management skills. He has not managed Nairobi well. And it's an embarrassment that somebody like Sonko was elected to be governor of Nairobi. I am not saying that I'm an angel. I may have my own flaws. But I and my governor Ngwai, we may have our own flaws. But we have tried to do the right things. We have our own flaws, no doubt about that. But we have tried to do the right thing. Now, if you see what's going on in Nairobi, the shenanigans that are going there, the mere fact that Sonko refused to have a debut because of fear that if I have a debut, then I will be impeached, and he will take over. I mean, it means that he knew he would be impeached. Why was he so sure to be impeached? That's what I'm saying. He knew it was coming. So Sonko's case, let us not use Sonko's case to condemn all governors in this country. We have some very good governors. We have others who have not met, the standards. But Sonko's case was a bit unique. But then, be it as it may, that is the consequences. We say democracy is not perfect, but then choices have consequences.
Now let me ask.
People of Nairobi chose Sonko, let them live with it.
Deputy Governor Mangi, gentlemen, devolution, how was it during Uhuru Ruto's first term? Was it okay? Was it on trial then? Or has it been getting worse in the second term or after the handshake? How would you rate that? How would you rate devolution from Uhuru's first term to Uhuru's second term?
Devolution started well. We know not all functions were devolved immediately. Functions are supposed to be costed and then are devolved. And then all of them were devolved, en masse before costing. That was the first mistake. So I would say the devolution has been on test from the word go. Even right from the time the actual functions were being devolved, they should have been unbundled first. We should have unbundled the functions, identified how much they're costing, that's what the costing of the functions, so that we know how much was healthcare costing in Kisii County in 2013. And then we send all that money to Kisii. How much was agriculture costing in Kisii County in 2013? Then we send all that money to agriculture. Then secondly, we were supposed to consider competencies. Each county was supposed to be assessed so that if there's a county that lacked competence to manage a particular function, for example, if Isiolo was unable or did not have the competence to manage roads could have remained in Nairobi until such a time that they're competent. But because of greed, all the functions were sent to counties without being unbundled, and that was the first mistake. But in the first regime, the 2013-2017, it was not as bad as now. Right now, I'm telling you,
it's bad.
We have not gotten money for 3 months.
Before I even get to you, Nordin, do you think that maybe lack of a proper opposition has contributed to, dwindling devolution?
Most definitely. Let me tell you something. If there is no other alternative voice, then you think everything's okay. If at all there was a different voice from what we are told every other day, people would put people in check. And if I were to answer that question, devolution, it has been on trial since the day we had a county commissioner. That was the first example of warning that devolution is under struggle. That was the first warning, if I can say that. And because what is the role of a county commissioner? Why does the national government feel the urge to act like a big brother and watch what the county governor is doing? What is the work of the MCA? That means the MCAs and Senate has failed. And the Senate has failed because it has been a rubber stamp until the other day they were trying to wake up during the revenue allocation. So you see, the people we've elected to office have gone there, forgot their duty. And that is why the national government sees a loophole and tries to make the most out of it. So you see, devolution was the easiest way Kenya would develop, according to me. That's what I believe.
Thank you. What do you think? If you were a better opposition?
Let me tell you something. I'm disappointed so far between the year 2017 up to now. 2013, devolution was perfect in this country. And admittedly, we have really given money through National Assembly.
It was perfect. It was perfect with an active opposition.
In terms of implementation, everything went right. And allow me to say that we have been guilty in terms of Treasury actually disbursing money to counties. That is where the problem has been. And admittedly, our economy has been struggling every day. That is why devolution has failed. We go, we check, Treasury keeps on being pushed. No money. It is just borrowing throughout. Devolution, as I always will state, was too expensive to be implemented by a country like Kenya.
Thank you. Thank you. Should we have a referendum before or during the 2022 general elections? Send in your feedback to our SMS line 111 tweet at Switch TV Kenya and at Lincoln Wumbogo. This is Team People. The conversation continues after this short commercial break.